Hi guys, Kai here. Some of you have been requesting me that regarding my thoughts behind the deck building of my Aggro Bat deck. So I took the time to record it and upload it to YouTube, and here it is. So we'll go through each of the card. Maybe I'll give a brief explanation or a thorough, depending on the time. So first off, we have Ambling Wraith. It has fanfare to deal 1 damage to both leaders. This is a very good one drop, especially in the later game where your opponent has 1 defense, and you can just use Ambling Ray just to close the game. It's a very good one drop and one with 1/2. Next we have Precious Bloodfangs. It's another one drop and it summons X Force Bats and deal X damage to your leader, whereas X equals the number of enemy followers in play. Now you only use this when the enemy followers had at least 1 follower on the field. And this is very useful and synergizes well with other cards, which I'll get to that later on. Next we have Blood Wolf. It's a storm and it deals 2 damage to your leader when played on the field. So the thing about Storm in an aggro deck, use them as soon as you can, before your enemy puts out a ward. It's like, for example, if you have Blood Wolf and Crazy Claw in your hand, and you're undecided which of the two you want to use, and your opponent doesn't have a ward on the field, use your Blood Wolf first before your opponent puts the ward on the field. Then next turn you can use Razor Claw to reach and close the game. Alright, next we have Vania, Vampire Princess. Whenever an allied forest bat comes into play, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader. Now if you evolve it, it will summon a forest bat. It's very useful to, again, it synergizes well with Precious Bloodfang. If the opponent has like maybe 4 3 Quick Bladers, 1 Vanguard for example, and then you're gonna use Vania on the field, evolve it, and then probably use a Precious Bloodfang. You'll set off about 4 damage max. Yeah, Raise Your Claw is for reach, and sometimes there are cases where you'll be using your damaging spells like Demonic Strike, Raise the Claw, not to directly damage your opponent, but to trade an enemy follower instead of using your own followers to trade it. Next we have Summon Bloodkin. It summons 2 Force Bat. It synergizes well with Vania, Vampire Princess, and Vampiric Fortress. Now, here's the key card in this deck, Vampiric Fortress. At the end of your turn, summon a Forest Bat if an allied Forest Bat is in play. If there were 4 cards in your area when the turn ended, destroy this amulet and deal X damage to the enemy follower, whereas X equals the number of allied Forest Bats in play. So for example, if you have a Vampiric Fortress in play and 3 bats, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you end your turn, it will summon a Forest Bat, and if there were 4 other cards in play when the turn ended, that means the 4 Forest Bat, it will proc. This will be destroyed and it will deal 4 damage to your opponent. Now here's the thing about Vampiric Fortress. Let's say for example you're on 6 play point and you have 2 Vampiric Fortress in your hand and a Summon Bloodkin. Here's what you can do. You play 2 of the Vampiric Fortresses and summon Bloodkin. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards on the field. Now if you end your turn, one of the Vampiric Fortress will summon a Forest Bat and it will proc, destroying itself and deal 3 damage. Then the second Vampiric Fortress will spawn another Forest Bat, and by the time that happens, you'll have 4 Forest Bat on the field. The second Vampiric Fortress will proc and deal 4 damage, and that's a total of 7 damage all in all. It's very deadly, very lethal. You can close the game with it, or you can use it early game to get ahead. Angelic Barrage is, of course, for those one defenses, swarm, or and forest craft fairies. Kill a vamp, kill a devil. It summons a forest bat. It's very staple because it summons forest bat and it's a drop 3 with 2/1. Mini Soul Devil is very good as well because whenever another follower evolves, deal 1 damage to your enemy leader and restore 1 defense to your leader. What this basically means, if you play this card and you, of course, as an aggro deck, you'll be using your evolve point on storm followers or cards that have already been played, like example your bats or ambling brave to deal face damage. You'll deal an additional 1 damage and you heal 1. Demonic Strike deals 3 damage directly to an enemy. You can use it on the leader or a follower. Like I already said before, with same thing with Razor Claw, there'll be times where you'll be using your Demonic Strike or Razor Claw to destroy an enemy follower and use your followers to face damage instead. Next we have Night Horde. Summons 2 bats and deal X damage to an enemy follower. It largely dependent on the number of forest bats you have in play. So you have like 2 forest bats and then you use Night Horde. You'll have a total of 4 forest bats and you can deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. It's very good to let's say take down those annoying large body wards with at least 4, at most 4 defense. Next we have Wind God. If you manage to swarm your field and be able to play Wind God next turn, why not? Just use it. Go crazy with it. And then you evolve one of your cards that have already been played to just face damage. Or if you want to get momentum, if they have a few followers, you can evolve Wind God and just make efficient trade. Dance of Death, I don't need. It's self-explanatory. Destroy an enemy follower, deal 2 damage to enemy leader. It's also used to destroy a large body ward or anything large in particular, like say front guard general, and then like of course he's gonna spawn his 2/3 drop. So maybe use a Razor Claw to take it out, and then use his followers to face damage. Imp Lancer, Storm with a 3/6, and evolve it as a 5/8. Storm follower, as I said before, with Blood Wolf, use it as soon as possible before the enemies plays a ward. Queen Vampire is just a tech card that I put in. You don't really have to follow this whole deck list. I'll just explain why I put Queen Vampire here. It summons 2 bats basically, and it gives wards to them. So if you swarm your field with bats and you use Queen Vampire, you'll give them ward. Plus, I mostly be using Queen Vampire in like turn 8 or so, and if I need to close the game where my enemy leader has 4 defense left, I'll use Vampiric Fortress and Queen Vampire with 8 play points. So that's basically it for my analysis of this deck. Your main key card is Vampiric Fortress. You want to get it off as soon as possible, or if you can close the game with it, then it's good. And if you have 2 for Vampiric Fortress with a Summon Bloodkin in your hand, you better save that combo up. You can progressively play, like say, if you have a starting hand of Vampiric Fortress and Summon Bloodkin, at turn 2 you play 1 Vampiric Fortress. Then at turn 3, play another Vampiric Fortress, and maybe I don't know, Ambling Brave, and then they'll trade you into it. And next turn you can use Summon Bloodkin to get it off. So there are also other deck builds you can consider. It doesn't have to be mine. I'd say this one. This cost is very cheap, 6,550 files. Now there's Curse Brand Vampire. It's also a good 1-drop with a 1/2, and adventures, you'll gain +1/1. See what cards. Okay, here you can. There's another tech card. You can replace the Queen Vampire in my deck with Demonic Storm. The reason why is that it deals 3 damage to all allies and enemies, including yourself and the enemy leader. So you can use this to wipe the board if your opponent has a swarm of at least 3 defense below, or if you want to reach. If you want to have a good reach, because it has a good reach that it can deal 3 damage to even your enemy leader. So if your opponent has 3 defense left, then well, why not? Just close the game with this. And so that's it for the analysis or somewhat a short explanation or thoughts behind this deck building on my Aggro Bat deck. If you like the video, please like it and share it with your friends who are new to the game and want to get into Bloodcraft. And if you have any suggestions or requests on what deck analysis or want to know my thoughts behind a deck build, please comment below and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. Thank you very much.